Ringwood further south, locals prepared for the worst again today. Damien Ryan is in the mountain township. Damien, last week they lost 200 homes. Today, so far, their prayers have been answered.
Well, in this part of the world, Pete, it seems so far so good, but the fight from the air is still being ongoing. As you can see, these choppers have been going at it all day. The general feeling amongst firefighters and locals is that it has been a very, very good day, considering what could have happened. There have been no property losses like we saw last Thursday, and everyone is okay. Everyone wanted to stay, but their arms were twisted by the dire warnings, getting out before it was too late.
No, I come close the other day, so I'm not going to risk it twice. We've been evacuated 3 times now, so yeah, we don't want to chance it anymore. Packing
their cars with their most precious of items, even the chooks were rounded up and taken out of harm's way.
What are you going to do?
Find the cat. He's much easier, that's why I like him better.
They left behind their homes and wondered will they still be there when they return.
You never know which way the wind goes, and that's the way, that's unfortunately what keeps us all on edge.
Well, good luck today.
In one street, the tension boiled over and tempers flared. A dispute between neighbours.
He just had a bit of an issue with hosing down his fence, so when he kind of uttered a few words to him, he decided to jump the fence and lay a few punches into him.
As the packed family cars rolled out, the fire trucks rolled in, and right on cue, the winds picked up and the pressure levels rose. There's no doubt the authorities were primed for this fight. A short time ago, some smoke erupted over there. Then suddenly the cavalry arrives, the water bombers swiftly into action and dousing the threat. There was success, but one sortie was not going to knock down the flare-ups, which sprung up through the valley. One of those sent flames into the path of history, the home of the famous artist and writer Norman Lindsay. In the streets, the firefighters in their trucks filled the first line of defence, their mission to save homes. Among those, one belonging to Tim Cooling, who last Thursday watched his mother's home burn to the ground at Winmalee.
My house I grew up in, so a lot of family memories and stuff gone, but we got one basket of photos, me and my 8-month-old son Henry, and made it to the car in time and got out of there. Keep thinking over like what could have happened, but it didn't. So
you keep thinking about, please, not again.
Yeah.
The residents that stayed behind watched in awe as the firefighters on the ground and in the air clocked up the hours and the victories. A job so far well done. Damien Ryan, 9 News.
At Blackheath, the fire front has come within a kilometre of the town. Locals on edge last night and all through today. Reporter Tom Steinford joins us tonight. Tom, have the threats been as serious as feared?
Well, look, Pete, in just the last 20 minutes or so, this valley behind us has really started filling up with smoke again. The good news is, though, the wind is starting to push the flames away from Blackheath. Earlier this afternoon, the fire front got within about a kilometre of the township. As it came over one of the hills there, we saw a series of water bombers come over and pretty much save the day. They got on top of that very quickly. Now, this afternoon, the winds, as I say, have really started to whip up, and they are getting stronger and stronger as we wait here, but it is a southwesterly wind that's coming through. It's pushing this fire a little bit away now from Blackheath and Mount Victoria. We've seen over the last couple of weeks that things can change very quickly, so definitely not out of the woods here, but we hope and pray that for now the worst of this has passed.
That we do. Tom, thank you. I want to go to Simon Boda now. He's at RFS headquarters tonight. Simon, good evening to you. We've seen a tremendous amount of goodwill, but a handful of people are behaving shamefully.
They are, Pete. 2 boys, aged 13 and 15, have been arrested and charged over the alleged theft of a charity collection box at Springwood yesterday. Now, both these boys will be facing children's courts in the coming weeks.
We're expecting the best of our community at the toughest of times, and sadly there are those people who continue to let the community down.
Now, sadly, they're not the only ones capitalising on these bushfires. A landlord in the lower Blue Mountains has been caught jacking up the rent for people who have lost their homes and are looking for temporary accommodation. Now, the Premier has issued a stern warning for would-be rip-off merchants and con artists. Here's what he told us.
This sort of bastardry, trying to price gouge off the back of a natural disaster, is unacceptable. There are penalties in place and the government won't hesitate to apply those penalties.
And Pete, those penalties include for companies fines of up to $1 million if they're found to be cashing in on this bushfire disaster. Pete?
OK, Simon, thank you. After a week of battling these fires, Sydney and Blue Mountains RFS crews are on the brink of exhaustion. They're welcoming with open arms volunteer units from out of town and interstate. Reporter Lizzie Pearl is at Penrith tonight. Lizzie, it's action stations there.
Yeah, it certainly is, Pete. Around 700 interstate firefighters have joined with volunteers from right around country and regional New South Wales. There's large groups from South Australia, Queensland and the ACT, and a very large team is here from Victoria. A lot of them arrived last night. They've been sent straight out onto the fireground and they're still out there as we speak tonight, standing side by side with New South Wales fire volunteers trying to bring these blazes under control. There is, of course, a large team still here in Penrith and they're waiting to be deployed at any moment. This is base camp though. This is where they eat, this is where they sleep. There's a large communal tent where they've been sleeping in shifts and they will continue to do so until this emergency is declared over. Now today I was chatting with some of the crews who are here from Victoria. They were on the front line during the Black Saturday bushfires and say they didn't think twice before piling in the truck and heading up here north to help out, Pete.